Get ready to dive into the story behind Iwan Ries and the incredible individuals who make it happen. One of the oldest pipe and tobacco shops, boasting a remarkable 165-year-old history, Iwan Ries holds a special place in the heart of Chicago pipers. In a moment, we'll get the full tour of the shop and go deep into the background of this pipe, tobacco, and cigar shop that has been family-owned and operated for 5 generations. During my recent trip to Chicago, I had the pleasure of meeting Chuck, his son Kevin, and the powerhouse behind it all, Chuck's wife, Susie. Hold on just a moment. To truly appreciate the journey of this iconic establishment, we must first glimpse the dynamic city that shaped it. It's an integral part of the narrative. Before we dive deep into our story, let me share a highlight from my visit to the Chicago Art Institute, a stop that's unmissable. Among its vast collection of treasures, there's a singular painting that transcends the confines of time and space. Captured within the scene is a late-night diner bathed in the glow of fluorescent light, a snapshot of solitude and contemplation on a quiet New York street. Nighthawks is the universal masterpiece that speaks to the human experience. From Hopper's meticulous brushstrokes to the haunting interplay of light, shadow, and collision of details, and pulling it all together, Nighthawks is more than just a painting. It's an invitation to explore the depths of human emotion and connection. In the autumn of 1871, amid the hustle and bustle of the vibrant streets and towering buildings, tragedy struck as the Great Chicago Fire engulfed the cityscape. This devastating event left downtown Chicago in ruins, including the iconic Sherman House Hotel, home to the E. Hoffman & Company, founded in 1857 by German immigrant Edward Hoffman. Despite the destruction, Edward Hoffman's indomitable spirit refused to be quenched. Relocating his shop after the fire, he symbolized the city's resilience and determination to rise from the ashes. From humble beginnings, he forged a legacy of excellence in pipes, cigars, and tobaccos, a legacy that endures to this day. Today, under the stewardship of Chuck Levy, Iwan Ries continues to thrive, blending tradition with innovation. The 5th generation, Kevin Levy, Chuck Levy's son, is propelling the company into the future with its online presence, ensuring the legacy lives on for generations to come. In a moment, we'll take a tour of the lounge and the available conference room, and then on to our fireside chat with Chuck. I'll be quiet now while you look around, and then we'll visit with Chuck.
Στο χειμώνα σαν το καράβι μ' άνοιξε.
So we're in the smoking lounge of Iwan Ries in Chicago on Wabash, right? This is Wabash?
Right, correct.
Which is a pretty cool area and a pretty cool place. And we're sitting with the fourth generation?
Me?
Are you?
Yes, I'm the fourth generation.
Owner, Chuck Levy. And we're going to just have a quick chat about the place and so on. First off, Chuck, thanks very much for taking the time to do this video.
It's always my pleasure. Thank you.
It's very, very nice of you, and it's a fantastic place. And what makes this fantastic, besides 5 million other things, it's on the second floor, which makes it very sort of escape from the city and so forth. It's just very cool. So you're the fourth generation in this business, and as we talked about previously, your uncle started the business.
Great uncle.
Great uncle, sorry.
Yeah.
Great uncle. And what was his name?
Edward Hoffman.
Edward Hoffman. And then he passed it on to whom?
My grandfather, who's Iwan Ries.
Okay. And then he passed it on to?
My father.
What his name was?
Stanley Levy. He was married to Mr. Ries's daughter.
Got it. And then there's you.
And then there's me.
And then there's your son.
There's my son.
Who is the fifth generation.
Right.
Tell me about the place a little bit. Just tell me about, you walk in from the street, you take the elevator to the second floor, you come in. What goes on here?
Well, in the first place, for years, we were on the first floor. I'm very happy to be on the second floor.
When you walk in, you have an enormous variety of pipes and cigars.
Right.
But for the most part, the pipes, if not all the pipes, are either visible or they're available for you to pick up and touch and feel.
Correct. Oh, absolutely. I mean, you can't buy a pipe without examining the bowl and looking at it and feeling. Most importantly, of course, the weight is very important. And so I don't think anybody ever bought a pipe without picking it up and handling it and touching it. The difference with our store is they can do it in most cases without somebody standing over their shoulder looking at them to see if they're going to steal something.
Right.
A lot of the stuff is open, period. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with the cigars. All of our cases, none of our cases are locked. People are welcome to go in the cigar department to go behind the counter, open up the cases, touch, feel, etc.
Right.
Which, again, with nobody looking over their shoulder.
Right. Well, this is kind of an old world place in a modern society. It's about, 165 years in business?
Right.
And so you've got, a family-owned business that is doing it in the way that it's been done for 5 generations?
165 years.
Yeah. And so it really is unique. It really is unique. And it's a place where you can learn, you can look at things. They have an amazing pipe lounge that is huge, and it has different areas. Which is part of the club area, if you will. But then they have a smaller area where you can come in and smoke without any cost, right on the floor. You could theoretically just buy a pipe, walk 10 feet, light it up, and smoke it. You want to try tobacco, you can buy some tobacco, try it right away in the small lounge area right on the floor. And there's a lot of interesting artifacts and printed material on the wall. So it's a place to see not just purchase pipes, I should say. It's a place to get a little bit educated by talking to the people that work here and to people in the Levy family who are very educated on the subject. And it's an experience. So if you have any opportunity to come here, I definitely recommend it. But in addition to that, naturally you have an online presence.
Yes, we do. Internet. And the one thing that also makes us a little different from a lot of the stores, not all of them, is my son or I are here 99% of the time. If he's not here, I am. If I'm not here, he is.
Right.
So we have one of us are always around.
Right. So I understand that when you called, there's a 20-minute computerized system that you have to go through before you speak with a human, right? You get switched from 20 different exchanges.
No, not really.
All the press 1, press 3, press 5, press 7, and then maybe after 20 minutes you get somebody. Is that right?
It'll never happen here, at least while I'm here. I won't say never, because who knows, but we only have live people answering the phone.
Yeah.
And 90% of the time, the person that answers the phone can answer your questions regarding quality, regarding what we have in stock, et cetera,
Right. And what about the purchase policy on your pipes?
Anything you buy, obviously, before you smoke it, if it's heavier or lighter or different color than you anticipated, return it, exchange, 100% refund, no questions asked. If the pipe is smoked and there's a problem with it, you send it back to us. In 80% of the cases, we will replace it. Sometimes we can't, but that's very rare.
Right. I also know that you noticed that you have a small refurbishing and repair station.
Well, it's more refurbishing. Yeah. We don't do repairs.
Okay, no repairs.
But we have people that come in with their grungy pipes. Mm-hmm. We clean the exterior, we clean the interior, we sterilize them, and it's just like our estate pipes. They're all totally sterilized and cleaned before we sell them.
Right. It's got a lot of stock, a lot of history. It's a comfortable place to go. It's friendly.
And, I would suggest you get here while the 5th generation is still operating, because I don't know if there's going to be a 6th generation.
You've been very, very great and covered most of the bases. The only thing, our lounge is open late at night after the store closes. Sometimes, some nights till 10 o'clock and some nights till midnight.
So now I'm going into a little bit of a possible problem area, but I'm going to do it anyhow. And
I'm not sure where you're going.
well, I know I'm going to get in a little bit of trouble, but I'm going to do it anyhow. And not from you necessarily, but I just want to mention, because I have personal experience in meeting your lovely wife, Susie. And she is part of the backbone of the organization.
Absolutely.
You may not see her in certain situations, but it warms my heart to see that this is a real family operation. It's not just father and son. And Susie is got a fabulous personality, but also she does a tremendous amount of behind-the-scenes work.
Susie is not crazy about going in the store waiting on customers. That's not her bag. But she runs the back end of the store, checks the orders, makes sure they're accurate, does a lot of stuff that managing the office.
I have a tremendous amount of admiration for the operation that you run.
Thank you very much.
And also, just the warmth that is exhibited in every way, whether it's joking around or being serious, between what I've observed between your son and Susie and so on. It's a working formula.
All right, I'm going to add one thing to that, and you can cut it out or whatever.
By all means.
Peter said that our son works here, and I've always had a rule. I said, you're going to work here for 2 years, whether you like it or not. You're going to yell at me, whatever the heck you do, it's immaterial. You're going to work here for 2 years, and if you don't like it, God, I certainly don't want you working here. But it's going to take you 2 years to learn if you enjoy the business, etc.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great concept, because
And we also I added one thing to that. When we're out of this building, we don't discuss business.
Right.
We go out for family dinners, whatever it is. Business is not talked about. We have a whole lot of, you might call VIPs coming in the store. We have a rule, nobody is allowed to ask for an autograph or anything of that nature. We've had the former governor of Illinois in the store quite a bit. He loves cigars, and he came in very often when he wanted meetings with donors in our private lounge, with his security sitting outside. But it's just a typical retail store. Well, and you have the typical people.
But they actually, have they filmed a couple of movies here?
Yes, they have filmed, you're right. I forget some of that stuff. They filmed a movie here with Wesley Snipes, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis. It was the Marshal, U.S. Marshal. And they took our room next door here, and they built a fake cigar humidor. And it was a very central part of the movie, even though it was only maybe 2 minutes on film, where Wesley Snipes came into the cigar lounge because he hid all his money in a cigar box in a private locker.
One of the private lockers, right.
And so it was a very intricate part of the movie, even though it was very short.
Yeah. Well, it's very cool, because it's part of the history of the place, and it really is a place that it's big enough, but also it's charming enough that it fits right into that moat. I got to say that I've enjoyed myself here. It's my first time here, and from the minute I walked in the door, I feel like I've been here 100 times. How friendly everybody has been, both from the sales crew and the customers are having a great time. It's obvious to me just by quick observation. And then we have Chuck, who can be grumpy at times, but not too frequently. But I would say 90% of the time, he's pretty good.
With customers, I'm very good. Behind the scenes, I'm very grumpy.
Exactly. Well, Chuck, thanks very much.
Thank you very much for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
And I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
I'm on my way back to New York, and in addition to my luggage, I'm taking great memories of a time well spent in Chicago, highlighted by my time with Chuck, Susie, Kevin, and the entire staff of the shop. With so few true pipe and tobacco shops still standing, it was a pleasure to visit Iwan Ries, actually pronounced Iwan Ries to insiders, in Chicago. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out my other video on the last standing pipe shop in New York, Barclay Rex. Until next time, this is Peter at Piper NYC wishing you great piping and good fortune.